What's up, guys? It's Krem. I'm going to be diving deep into this 8-part series of how I went from college athlete to living on a couch to working at a call center, calling 15 hours a day, till now owning a business in 11 countries and 50 states. There's been some key decisions along the way and also some very big learning experiences. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you guys to where the first chapter begins, high school football.
My journey starts with the common theme, how one single decision can completely change the trajectory of your life. So this first decision was deciding to play high school football my senior year. Now to most, that probably, it's not a make it or break it type of situation, but for me it was. Because what I didn't know coming into my senior year was that we would break school records. So in 1 year of high school football, I played 1 year of high school football, I got all state, and I ended up earning a scholarship to go to college. So, it's funny because I never even thought about playing football until I'd be hanging out with my buddy Devin Donnelly. We were throwing the football back and forth in his parking lot every single day. We were doing those little games where, you'd run up to the parking lot and you can only go so far, so you had to toe touch and grab. And I was just catching every single ball. And he's like, dude, he was mad because I should have played football with him. And he was already a senior, so he's graduating. He's like, man, you have to go out and play this year. So that's what I decided to do. I decided to go out for the team. Man, and this is what was really developing. So my mindset at the time was, I was playing sports. I was pretty good. And then getting the scholarship for football, going to college for this. What that did to my mindset was get me into this completely cocky mindset. Because my entire identity was around this football player. So I go to college to play football, and the entire time, what I was doing was riding on my talents, right? If you'll notice, I went to school to play football. That statement alone, they do not fit. So this entire time, my mindset was there. I'm just there to play football, and even more so, I began to ride on my talents, and especially at a college level, you can't do that. So, like I said, my mindset going into this was that of someone who could ride on their talents, completely devoted to the game in my mind. See, I loved football. So I'm going to school to play football. I'm living a dream that up until this year wasn't even in existence. I knew I wanted to play sports in college, but I didn't have a game plan. And then I played 1 year high school football, and then it just all started to fall into my lap. So I'm just thinking anything I just do is going to touch and turn to gold, right? So my experience was, I wasn't concentrating in school. I didn't even believe I was going there for school. I didn't have a major picked out. And, I'm coasting through classes, coasting through practice, going through the motions. I came into the perfect storm because, our team, there were so many great pieces on the team already. We ended up going 10-2, beat Krem Hunt in the playoffs. We were absolutely dominating. And myself, breaking school records, dominating, just absolutely dominating something and picking it up. The entire community is around. You're known in the community. People are coming up and shaking your hands. You're getting more exposure. Your family seems like they like you more. Your friends are just popping up out of all the places. So, being good at football, especially within a community, everybody begins to get on your backside, whether it's people in the community, the schools, the teachers, friends, family, everything just seems to go your way because of the talent and everything that I was riding on. So this is where, like I said, my entire mindset this entire time, my identity was football, but what I noticed was I was going there to play football. And then all of a sudden my schoolwork started declining. And then I had to start spending more time on school. I started partying more than I was waking up and making sure I was waking up and going to practice. What I did is I took what I loved for granted. I took something I absolutely loved and just thought it was always going to be there. Didn't put my 100% effort into it. What ended up happening was I went on academic probation. And I'll tell you what, I'll never forget the entire night before going into the coach's office. Because I knew how to tell them I was quitting the team because, I was going on academic probation. They weren't even checking my grades at the time because I had great grades throughout high school. I wasn't on academic watch. So I was speeding by. Nobody was noticing. And all of a sudden, it just all came to a halting stop. And within a week, ended up failing 2 classes, was about to be getting kicked off the team. I went in there and had to tell them what was going on. I'll never forget those moments, though, going into it, where I started to realize that this entire dream, everything that I was living, was almost a lie. I was acting like school was fine. I would always be on the team. It's just going to work out, coasting on my talents. And then the one going in there, I was tearing up. They were really concerned because I was tearing up. I was great. Dude, I was bawling at the end of it. Just of the fact that I had to quit this. And it wasn't just because I had to quit. This was the worst feeling in my life. The feeling that I gave up on something I loved because I didn't put enough effort into it. And so I had to leave college. I had to come back home and, well, stay on my parents' couch and try and figure things out. But that feeling was just eating me alive inside because I absolutely loved football. And I knew I could have had somewhat of a future in it, whether it was at the collegiate level or who knows what would happen. But I will never know. And that was eating me inside. The fact that I gave up on something that I loved because my effort wasn't there. That was the hardest, to this day, the worst feeling I've ever experienced in my life. Here was the main problem, right? My entire identity was built from being good at football. I wasn't sure of who I was, but because I was great at football, I allowed that to establish my personal identity. And, you know, most of my relationships were because people knew I was good at football, and that's what they were based on. And the moment that was taken away, my entire identity was taken away. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I stood for, what my future was like, what I wanted to do, which caused unhappiness. And when you're unhappy personally because you have failed to identify who your true self is, your core values, what you want out of life, and it has to be within, when that was taken away, it was like my entire identity, the cockiness was revealed because all of a sudden it was hollow. It was everything that I built myself on was exterior, not interior. On the next video, I want to take you guys to where I was living on the couch, living at my parents and bouncing around for a while, to getting into real estate, getting that first job that really changed my mindset, that changed my entire trajectory of my life. You'll notice that each one of these videos is going to start and end with simple decisions. How one decision can change my life. And you're going to see how going from the couch to getting started in real estate was a decision that got me to where I'm at today.